Hello, fair folks. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is episode 30. We're going to 30 for 30. Place my jersey in the rafters. I'm 30 for 30.
Like Steph Curry.
Not too much. All right, but anyway, this is an action-packed episode for you.
A bar, though.
Not too much. Action-packed episode today, and we're going to start with the leader of our topic today.
Wait, players number 30, Steph Curry.
Julius Randle.
Tron the Don.
Oh.
Potatoes.
He's not in the NBA.
He should be.
Other players, number 30, Seth, at one point.
Adem Bona.
Who?
Anyway. So I got some stuff to talk about. A couple Warriors related things. But I really wanted to get into something that no one's really mentioned recently. Whatever happened to the 2-minute report? The NBA 2-minute report.
They did away with it, apparently.
They used to do it every night or something. All the missed calls they had. Then people would be like, see, this is why we lost. Blame the refs. Maybe that's why they got rid of it. Everyone was just blaming the refs.
Maybe. That could be a good reason why, and the backlash that the refs would get.
Lots of calls against the Sixers last year. They were in the negatives for calls against them. And there's teams like the Lakers and Celtics who get the most love from the refs, obviously.
Yes, they do.
So we recorded something that we didn't release yet because we weren't happy with the results. Well, I wasn't. But it was about golf, and it brought up like a interesting phrase. Did they call Paul George PG8 because he's a PGA player?
No. No.
Get it? PGA? PG8?
He's a golfer. Well, he's going to be shortly in like a couple weeks, maybe.
He's been a golfer since like February. He's been rolled out game after game.
Wait, is he actually playing golf?
I don't know. I think he has.
Well,
I know.
He's not podcasting.
Speaking of Steph Curry, he's a good golfer from what I hear.
Yeah, he's pretty good as far as NBA players go. That and Michael Jordan.
So you know how the last, I guess it was episode 29, we talked about defensive players and rebounding and all that?
Yeah, I guess.
Speaking about, I just thought about the Michael Jordan thing and Scottie Pippen. What is the most ideal way to rebound? Do you box out or do you go off instincts? Or is it just player-based?
I would say box out and then go off your instinct.
But you hear players like your Knick player Josh Hart say he doesn't box out. He just goes for the ball. Goes off instincts, basically.
So you're saying you've never seen him box out?
He has, but majority of the time he's doing his own thing and not worrying about the other players trying to get the ball from him.
That's not a foolproof plan for certain players, so I wouldn't say that's like the norm.
So it's player-based.
I'd say boxing out is more conventional.
But if you have 5 smaller guys like the Sixers tend to do, and they say, oh, you got to box out, then when we do box out, they still get it because they're just more athletic or more better instincts for rebounding than we are, or any team for that matter.
So if that's true, let's say all 5 guys were boxed out properly, how can they possibly get the ball?
Because they go around them.
They're not boxed out properly then.
They're just.
I think that's where the real problem lies. It's the fundamentals.
But you could get around a box out by just swim moving.
Not really.
Yeah, you're not. It's not like you're locking their leg up.
There's proper ways where you can prevent any movements.
That's basically hugging someone.
No, you feel for them with one of your arms. If you feel them move, you move with it.
You what? You what?
If you feel them move, you move with it.
Okay. Alright, chat. Not too much.
Sliding your feet.
So,
fundamentals.
Did Scottie Pippen go off instincts or boxing out?
I'm not an expert on Scottie Pippen's rebounding. I'd say Dennis Rodman was more premier at rebounding, and I would say he did a little of both very well.
So, I want to also talk about traditional point guards nowadays being more like score based. Not really they're just making plays off their scoring. Like they don't get into the offensive sets as much and like purely pass, like look for passes. What do you think about traditional point guards being ruled out, basically? Like Elfrid Payton is an example. Pure point guard, not really known to score. Type of player that would thrive in the 90s, in my opinion.
Would he thrive, though? I don't know. As far as like the traditional sense of a point guard, there's always been a few guys who were relied upon to get points and buckets. Now, it's become more of a norm that players are prioritizing threes. Maybe that's why it's appearing this way. But yeah, I think it's something that you need to be able to shoot threes in today's game based on play styles and analytics.
If they extend the 3-point line, does that rule out a lot of teams shooting threes?
No.
Like if you make it like 3 feet back.
They already shoot behind the line a lot.
But it's not as efficient, so coaches won't.
They still do it.
They would, but like, you don't want someone like Mikal Bridges' wonky form shooting a 3.
His form is fixed. If you watched last night's game between the Celtics and Knicks, Porzingis basically hit a 3 from like the end of the logo from the center court. You know what I'm saying? Like the logo that goes from this side to that side that says Knicks. He was at the edge of it. And it wasn't even like a late game shot. It was rhythm offense from that spot. Cat consistently shoots like 4 or 5 feet behind the line. That's my point. Like, you're extending it, but they're still going to be doing the same thing.
But you're going to have twos being a more efficient shot.
Would it? Yeah.
Because now they're like, there's no reason to chuck threes all game if you're not going to make 36 to 40% of them. You'll lose games.
You think the percentage is going to change?
Yeah, because it's further. Not a lot of people can do that efficiently. Like, there's only very few. Like, maybe 1 per team. 2 max.
I think the same thing would happen over time, though.
Eventually, but, like, you'll get more plays being drawn up back to the old NBA of paint presence and, like, driving in my opinion. It also extends it extends the defenses, so you'll have more stuff open up, in my opinion.
I don't think it's going to have the effect that you think it's going to.
Can't hurt to try.
It could.
It could or it couldn't.
It would hurt. I do think there is no getting past the volume shooting of today's modern game until players start to shift their mindsets, but say less.
You shift it by making it a harder, less efficient shot. That's what you do. You won't see someone like Cam Payne pulling up that far as often as he does, maybe once or twice a game, but like not 6 or 7.
One, you have to rework the entire dimensions of the court because the corners are already tight. So if you're saying 3 feet, you have to extend the court, which is a whole nother ordeal. So then the court gets even bigger.
I didn't even think about that. So there would be more space.
Yeah, there'd be more space, but I don't think that changes play styles.
I think it does, but moving on. We saw the Jimmy Butler trade went down as a huge W for the Warriors. But what do you think about the past trade? Did they mess up trading Jordan W. Poole? I don't know if that's his middle name.
Jordan W?
I don't think that's his middle name.
No, I don't think they messed up with that. I do think that after his fight with Draymond Green, one of the two had to go, and they were never going to trade Draymond at that point. So it obviously seemed like it was something that had to be done. And it just so happened that the Wizards were willing to take him in.
Actually, now that I say that, I realize that Draymond's like a top 3 candidate for DPOY this year. So they probably would still do it, even if...
Oh, in a heartbeat, Jordan Poole's a chuck.
Even if you get more out of... Jordan Poole years-wise, maybe you have a better window with Draymond.
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, look at the Wizards.
I mean, they don't have Steph. There's a big difference there.
No, they don't, but still. I don't think he's playing that great.
Do you have any topics you want to get to?
Did we discuss the college? Oh yeah, the college finals have come and went. We saw a great match in the Final Four between Duke and Houston, where Houston came back from 14 down to win it. And then they were reciprocated by the Florida Gators. Chomp, chomp. They won by 12. As you could tell, my voice is a little hoarse today, but there's no Mr. Ed speaking today.
Someone throw the death pitch at you?
All right, we already talked about the death pitch. But it was a great Final Fours as far as to see the competition level be equal across the 4 teams.
Yeah. Do you take stock into Final Four games and how players produce?
Yes.
So
Big stakes equal big moments equal who could provide you with the clutch factor moving forward.
So an 18-year-old, you're taking one game into stock.
Walter Clayton's not 18 for one.
What about Malawak?
I don't think he's that good.
So his stock dropped after one game.
Oh, it's not one game.
What do you mean it wasn't one game?
I think that he's not ready to be the guy, for one. Throughout the whole year, he hasn't really shown it.
I mean, no one's really drafting him to be the number one option. Are they? Like, you don't look at that guy and be like, oh, that's a number one.
So why they compare him to being Embiid then?
Because he's not a number one option right now.
All right, so again, why are they comparing him to Embiid, who was a top 3 pick?
But Malawach isn't projected to be.
Again, why are they comparing him to Embiid?
I don't think they're comparing his offensive game. He's nothing like him on offense.
Kind of was in college.
No, not really.
Embiid wasn't much of a shooter then either.
He had a mid-range.
Said shooter.
That's shooting.
It's not threes. Not threes.
You don't have to shoot threes to be a shooter.
That's what shooter is.
That's what's wrong with the NBA. You think shooting is just threes. It's twos
it's
also.
Shooting everything. You could shoot anything. That's what a shooter is. Say less. You don't be known as a shooter when you're just strictly a mid-range shooter.
Well, no, obviously you're going to take a three here and there, but you don't have to be a shooter.
I'm saying a shooter is someone that could shoot anything. Missing that.
Yeah, they can. That's what I'm saying.
Well, Embiid didn't.
Just like Drummond and Dwight Howard can make a three, but they're not going to... The coach isn't going to want that to happen.
I'm saying he wasn't great as a shooter.
All right. Well, I don't see the comparison. I could see the comparison defensively with them, but like the offensive game isn't really close.
0 rebounds.
Malawach isn't like a pick and pop. He's a pick and roll.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
I got vindication that Cooper Flagg is the top pick that everyone thought he was.
Wait, didn't you say you take stock into players not being clutch?
He was very clutch. It was not his fault.
He's supposed to be the leader, right? Is he not a leader?
He led the team in scoring. He also led in a lot of other factors such as
Vocal leader.
Vocal for what?
Calling the plays, calling the inbounds.
He can't do all 5 positions by himself.
Call the inbounds.
Call the inbounds on Proctor's missed free throws. You're right. Or how Sion James was probably concussed throwing the ball in, still playing. Call that on him. You're right.
I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying you said...
You just did.
There was an epic collapse of Duke, and when you're the face of it, you take the blame for it.
Not really.
That's how it goes in the
It's a
NBA.
team sport.
That's how it goes in the NBA.
This ain't the NBA.
That's what he's going to play for. Like, he's going to have to be that guy.
His teammates let him down. He played great. I got vindications.
It sounds like some Sixers stuff, if you ask me.
Not really. It wasn't his fault. He played great.
That's what I used to say about Embiid.
You're talking about a small forward, power forward, and you're expecting him to do every single position the way you're talking.
I said this exact same thing about Embiid. Maybe he's not that kind of leader.
What is that?
Maybe he needs a voice on his team. He needs a voice.
You realize the teams they beat?
Yeah, they were favorited in almost every game.
The only team that they lost to in the playoff there was the Houston Cougars, who have one of the best defenses.
I mean...
And he was playing great the entire game.
Obviously, Flagg's still the number one pick. You can't argue that.
I got vindication that he's a generational talent.
I mean, you did have a good stat line.
It's not stat line. Not just the stat line. The eye test.
I mean, yeah.
Go back and watch the game and see why they lost.
I have vindication.
It was not his missed free throws. It was not his inbounding.
I have vindication that Cooper Flag will go back to college if the team that he doesn't like will get first pick. He would go back to college.
So the Sixers.
AKA the Jazz, Hornets,
Sixers.
Wizards.
No, I think you'd be okay with
those 3 teams. You'd say, nope, 1 more year in college is fine with me. That's
Never happening. No, I'm sorry.
That's my hot take of the week.
Yeah, if you're expecting that to be true, you're going to be disappointed.
I'm sticking with it. If the Sixers get the number 1 pick, he's going to say, oh, they have some winning players over there.
Yeah, keep dreaming.
If the Blazers get the number 1 pick, they have some kind of winning players over there. Spurs somehow get the first pick.
Yeah, it could happen.
I have another prediction that Mike Malone will be the coach of the Spurs next year.
Not a chance.
Why not?
Not a chance. Popovich is still alive, for one.
I thought he was going to be the, what's it called that Doc Rivers did before he got the coaching job?
President?
No, where you like tell the coaches your thoughts.
He never said that.
I thought he did. I thought I read something that said he's like the guy in the background that's giving advice to the coach, basically. I don't remember the word for it.
It's called an advisor?
Yeah, advisor.
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't think Michael Malone's okay with that either.
What do you mean? It's Popovich.
I don't think he's okay with taking commands from a guy when he's won a title himself.
Everyone respects Pop.
I don't think he takes that job because it's not going to last.
I mean,
he's more likely to go to a team that needs him for real.
Like the Grizzlies?
I gotta see where openings happen. I don't think he wants to go to just anywhere.
I can see the Grizzlies happening.
No.
Yeah, you go to a rival. You go hunt the Nuggets in the playoffs. You have a star that wants to be coached like a star and not just a player. Mike Malone was said to give special treatment to stars, which is what Ja wants. I could see it being a fit.
I think he's too hard-nosed to accept Ja Morant as a player. I don't think that would work either.
I mean, Ja Morant is pretty hard-nosed.
No, he does shenanigans and acts like a kid.
I guess.
I don't see that happening with the Grizzlies. I think they would go much younger and much new school compared to an old school coach. I could see him going back to the Kings. I could see him, if an opening were to appear in New York.
New York what?
What do you think?
Nets?
No, that's not New York.
That is New York.
That's Brooklyn.
New York.
Wannabe Nets. Wannabes.
But like, why would a championship coach go to a rebuilding team? That makes no sense.
Where did I say a rebuild?
The Nets?
I didn't say the Nets. You did.
Oh wait, I'm confusing myself at this point.
Right. Not too much. Just think about it. Where would a hard-nosed coach thrive?
Memphis?
No, not really. Not current Memphis. They're a different team now.
Detroit?
They don't have any openings anytime soon. Not that I'm saying I want them to go Knicks to grab him, but I'm saying if there was an opportunity as a Knick opening head coach spot, you could see Michael Malone taking that job.
So Tibbs is doing a bad job then.
I didn't say that.
So Tibbs isn't going to do anything in the playoffs.
I didn't say that. I said if.
If.
I didn't say when. I said if.
Sounds like you're predicting the Knick future, like first round exit type thing.
No, that's not what I said. I said if.
I mean, they're 0-4 versus the Celtics this year.
Almost won last night.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and
Grenades.
John Morant. I mean, what?
Not too much with the grenade. All right. I mean, we're recording this on a Wednesday.
What if
the
John?
day after?
What if John Morant switches to bow and arrow?
I think that's more acceptable. Campaign did it. That's how he shoots.
That's like a hockey player celebration. Bow and arrow.
Yeah, I don't know. And we got another edition today of Mind You of the Week. On fire from another series we're going to bring along. Just kidding. I don't know if this is going to be a series, but I do have a topic to discuss involving the realms of conspiracy. We've headed back to that. The field of opportunity.
Topics.
I seek to find the unity, and we will all bring it into tunity. For unity.
Topics.
All right, but anyway.
Is it a topic?
So today,
Is it a topic?
Today we're talking about a town in the state of Texas. And in this state of Texas, there happens to be a place called the Alamo. Now, in the Alamo, there happens to be a flag. Now, that flag could stand for many things. And what that can include is a player's last name. So with the Final Four being held in San Antonio, the site of the Alamo with the flag, the Duke player named Cooper Flag happened to appear in it. I think we all know where this is headed. So somehow the Spurs often get lottery pick wins. And I do think this is another year where they get the top pick. Which means they will be the ones to land the one and only, the American White Hope Cooper Flag. And we have all the evidences laid across. I told you about the Alamo with the flag in it.
A lot of states have flags.
It's the Alamo. You have to remember the Alamo and where it was held this year in San Antonio for the Final Four, which means Cooper Flag will be going to the Spurs, which means the rich get richer, and some teams never get the first overall pick in like decades. So I don't find this fair to be any of chance. I do think that the lottery has been rigged since the beginning.
Since the Ewing days?
Yeah, probably since the Ewing days. Speaking of, the Knicks have not had a number one overall pick despite many last place finishes since the Patrick Ewing draft, which is 85 maybe. I find that very confusing to me.
How are you gonna
being
be
that the
confused?
Spurs have won multiple number one picks since then, and they have more titles than us. They even beat us in 99. Yet somehow they've procured the Wemby. They've procured the next Cooper Flag too as well. I think secretly it's already accomplished, that it's written into the script of next offseason. Pause. For dramatic effect. Let it sit. So we will see this come to place, and we will see this in the off season. The Mind You of the Week has been brief, but it is impactful and quite on track to do the numbies of success that I'm accomplished in my past Mind You of the Weeks. It's going to be Mind You of the Week coming to you live. And we're not live.
We're not live. That was pretty much everything we wanted to get into. NBA season's coming to a close. Couple games left. Couple players sitting out for undisclosed injuries.
A couple teams resting guys. Couple teams not even playing them, even with fake injuries.
Every team.
Tyrese Maxey.
Every team.
Nah, not the Knicks.
Every
Celtics.
team.
Knicks and Celtics played their.
You rested Towns. You rested Brunson,
No,
like you
last
said.
night. Not last night.
Anyway, the end of the
moving
season's always a wash. Pretty much glorified summer league or like preseason.
For most teams.
I mean, the Pistons probably
We're
have,
jockeying for our third spot, and then we'll stop.
but you see teams like the Thunder just sitting players.
They've already got the first place locked up.
I know, but
Again, they've already locked their position. I'm saying the teams that need to still figure out their seed, they're still going to try.
that reminds me. Do we really want to get into the MVP debate in this episode?
No, we're going to have an awards special later.
All right. That is episode 30. Like,
Share.
comment.
Subscribe.